Hey Virgo, welcome to your October 2023 tarot reading. I hope this message finds you well. Let's go ahead and get into it. We've got an action-packed month here astrologically with eclipse season. We've got a new moon solar eclipse in Libra. That will be in your second house of finances, material resources, your self-worth, your values. So there can be some changes taking place in any of those areas of life. Okay, so that solar eclipse is on the 14th. We've got the full moon lunar eclipse on the 28th in Taurus, which is your ninth house of higher learning, publishing, your spiritual beliefs, international travel. So this is that's a house about like seeing the bigger picture there as well. So there could be some of those areas being illuminated with the full moon, possibly coming to a close with this being the final, thank God, the final full moon of the Taurus Scorpio eclipse cycle. So we're wrapping that up this month and then fully heading into Aries, Libra eclipse cycles. All next year, the eclipses will be in Aries and Libra, okay? So let's see what we have going on for you in these cards. Okay, I'm seeing some money stuff definitely coming out, collaborations, but also getting into a space where you're feeling like financially independent. Some of you may be like working on a group project, business partnership or something. Okay. All right, my Virgos. Who got, someone got similar cards. Cancer. Some of you might have Cancer placements in your chart. Maybe you're connecting or connected to a Cancer in some capacity. Your overall energy is the Six of Cups, okay? So there's this sense of nostalgia in the air. You may be thinking about the past, thinking about someone from your past, possibly from your childhood. Doesn't just have to be romantic. You know, this could be about an old friend. You're thinking about your childhood, your family, and relationships with siblings and all of that stuff. You know, you just might be in a space where you're thinking about the good old days, essentially. That's what I get whenever I see the Six of Cups, okay? But I'm also getting, you know, sure, those days were good, but those aren't the best days that you are meant to have, right? The best has yet to come is what I'm getting from here. The best has yet to come. So I really need you to keep your hopes and your expectations alive, right? Sometimes when we live in the past a lot, it's because we don't feel too happy in the present, all right? It's kind of a bit of an escapist tendency, and we're all guilty of it. And there's nothing wrong with looking back on the past either, because we can also learn a lot by looking back from the past. Or looking back into the past. So that may be something that you guys are doing here as well. So we do have these, like I said, we've got the eclipses for you, second, ninth house. We are finally going to have Venus get the fuck up out of Leo and move into your sign here on the 10th. So I'm excited about that. And with that being said, there can be money matters are moving forward. You may be feeling better as far as your self-image or beauty is concerned. It can be more of a favorable time for you for sure. Whenever a benefic is in your zodiac sign, so a benefic is a planet that blesses you, okay? So Jupiter and Venus, they're the benefics. The malefics are Mars, Saturn, you know, which tend to make things a little more difficult for us, right? So you've got sweet Venus moving into your sign, which is always a good thing, right? So that's definitely going to be a supportive energy for you, as well as Pluto going direct on the 10th, okay? And that's going to be in the sign of Capricorn for you in your 5th house of romance. where you have been giving your power away in romance. You may start to notice that the power dynamics shift as we enter into October. Maybe you feel like you're taking back your power in some capacity. All right. You're coming into the month, you're showing up as the Five of Swords. Okay. So there may be some conflict you're dealing with, more likely internal conflict, but it can be something outside of you that is manifesting as well. Okay. Actually, I want to get a clarifier on this Five of Swords for you. Let's see, Five of Swords for my Virgos. Now, we know how y'all can drag somebody for filth. Y'all are really good at reading people. Just be mindful if it's really worth it, okay? I don't know, if somebody just pisses you off or they look at you the wrong way and you might let them have it. Let's see. Five of Wands. Oh my gosh. So you got 3 5s coming up. 3 out of the 4 coming up in your reading. So we got a whole lot of conflict. What's going on, Virgo? Okay. Once again, it may be regarding romance. I'm not seeing like the other relationship houses highlighted for you. Yeah, no. Besides Neptune transiting and Saturn in your 7th house, okay, of partnerships, right? Usually more romantically based, or even business partnerships. So yeah, we've got some conflict, guys. This could be you. Like I said, you're feeling conflicted. You're not really sure. Some of you, this is about the past, okay? I'm getting you're kind of disjointed. A part of you is like stuck in the past. Another part of you is in the present. Another part of you is like looking forward towards the future. If anything, just get present, okay? And it may be hard with that 6 of Cups energy kind of lingering around, because that's definitely an energy that's going to take you back and possibly keep you in a loop here of indecision and kind of going back and forth, not really standing your ground, making a solid choice here. I do feel like once Venus shifts into your sign, things are going to become a lot more clear to you. Even the choices, the actions that you're taking in October are going to be more, I don't know, concise, because there's been this kind of wishy-washy, ambiguous energy surrounding you. I think it has a lot to do with Neptune in your 7th house, as well as Saturn there too, but mostly Neptune, who kind of gets us in this fairy tale type of thinking, borderline delulu. Okay, so look, I'm just a messenger, guys, but the easiest way for you to resolve this conflict within yourself is just getting present, okay? And maybe that does involve creating some sort of distance with the past, creating some sort of boundaries with the past. Your challenge is the 5 of Pentacles, okay? Maybe feeling kind of left out, abandoned, forgotten. Now, this can just be practical stuff with finances, where you feel like you haven't really been making the money you need to make. Once again, it just has to do with Venus being in Leo for so long, which was in your 12th house. And the 12th house is all about draining you of literally anything, your resources. It's the final house. So it does have to do with endings and losses sometimes. So maybe you feel like you've been taking some L's financially, but things are definitely going to start moving forward for you guys. What was it? The 10th and onwards. Okay. So just be patient. You know, I know some of you, you've been working hard, maybe feeling like you're spinning your wheels, not being compensated fairly. But you are going to change that. Venus is going to come in and give you a little blessing that you need, right? So let's see, what is this 5 of Pentacles, Spirit, as a challenge for Virgo? The Devil, okay. Toxic relationship. Toxic relationship pattern. You know, I'm hearing history repeats itself. So maybe you've done this before in some capacity with a different person, with multiple people. This could have to do with your self-esteem, self-worth. And you're going to see this a lot more clearly with the new moon in Libra. It's going to be very revealing how you've been giving your power away, how you've been seeking validation externally. And in doing so, that gives away your power. And sure, it's nice to hear from people, you know, that they appreciate us, that they value us, that they love us, all these things. But if you're not telling yourself that, if you're not believing that of yourself, then you got some work to do. And that's okay. So for some of you, this may be a childhood thing with that 6 of Cups coming through. Feeling like you have to prove yourself, validate yourself, that you have to work for love, for acceptance. So some of you are unlearning, you know, your childhood conditioning here. Unlearning your childhood role, potentially. Which, you being opposite of Pisces, maybe having some of that savior complex. And usually people that are like always playing Captain Save-A-Ho, it's like this subconscious way of acting out the fact that they themselves want to be saved. They want someone to show up in their life in the same way that they show up for others. You got to be your own hero, though. You can't wait on nobody else to be that for you. And maybe some of you have been looking for the hero or been looking for the knight in shining armor when you need to be that for yourself. Yeah, you got some major, this death card and the devil is Pluto and Capricorn. So like I said, it goes direct here. And it does seem to be like a very palpable shift. You're going to feel it. You're going to feel your power returning. You're going to feel your self-esteem get stronger, right? This is good. And that's what's going to empower you to possibly sever ties from someone that you do have a, it's like a codependent connection, okay? It's like you both are getting validation from each other, but refusing to really validate yourselves. And validating yourself is more than just talking about it and saying you validate yourself. It's also reflected in your actions, the choices that you make. And some of you, maybe some of the choices that have been made have not really been a reflection of you valuing yourself. Especially if you feel like you've been having to like fight someone, you know, or having to convince them to love you, to convince them to commit to you. It shouldn't be that way. And you end up creating a lot more resistance in your life, in other areas of your life, when you're engaging in those kind of relationship dynamics. Someone may be putting you in a space where you feel like you're in competition for them. You are not an option. You are the choice, the one and only choice. And you need to make sure you're moving like that. What you don't see coming is the death card, okay? Something's coming to a close. For some of you, maybe you thought it already did, but it's really coming to a close this month. This may be the finality, especially if you've been going back and forth on a situation here. This is that full moon in Taurus. Like I said, it's closing out the Taurus Scorpio eclipse cycle that we've been in for the past couple of years. So I want you to ask yourself, you know, where were you 2 years ago? What was going on in your life then? How has that situation come full circle up until now? What have you learned between now and, you know, these past 2 years? Okay. We've got the moon. Yeah. There's a death to some sort of fickle energy around you. Very flighty, in and out, non-committal. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. And here's that moon. I was saying the full moon in Taurus. There could even be some sort of secrets that are coming out, or you are getting the truth. You're getting some sort of clarity about this person's true intentions or lack thereof, because the Knight of Wands isn't always the most intentional person. Once again, he just wants to have fun. And there doesn't need to be a lot of intention behind that. Some of you may be dealing with a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We've got Capricorn, Scorpio in here as well. Whatever this full moon is revealing to you, you're going to be headed in a different direction too. With the Knight of Wands, you're taking action in a new direction. Your advice is the Seven of Wands. Stand your ground. Stand on what you say, right? Because it's one thing for us to talk the talk and I'm worth it, whoop-de-woo. Are you walking the walk though? Some of you might end up blocking somebody, kind of cutting somebody out, creating space, creating distance. This could be a conversation that you're having with someone where you're having to be very honest. Like, look, I see that you're not really capable of giving me what I want. I don't think you're a bad person, but you're also not going to be taking up space and taking up my energy, because this person is taking your power at the end of the day. If you're feeling drained, you're feeling scattered, you're feeling like you're up and down in conflict all the time, feeling anxious, maybe literally in conflict with this person, always having to be in a space of conflict resolution, but nothing is really being resolved. So it's time to stand firm. And I know it's a little more difficult, Virgo. You're a mutable energy. You'll switch it up, okay? It's time for you to make a decision, get a little more fixed in your nature, and just stick with it. Stick with your decision. It's like you're not giving yourself enough time to even stick with the decision to see what good can come out of you sticking with said decision. Knight of Pentacles, stick with it. Okay? This is funny because this is the only knight in the tarot that's horse isn't in motion. He's not going anywhere. He's not moving. And you need to be unmoved. Because people will always attempt to cross your boundaries, to dismiss your boundaries, to disrespect your boundaries, if you let them. So you have some responsibility here as well. For some of you, this is about protecting this process of you getting stronger in your self-worth. Like I said, a lot of that has to do with Venus moving into your sign. But since July, you've been shedding a lot of false beliefs, past life stuff, karmic stuff. You've been shedding a lot of that stuff as it pertains to your self-worth. This is a delicate process and time that you're in. Don't let anybody come in and get you off track. Okay? Or, you know, have you regressing with all of the work that you've been doing. So your animal or your message from spirit, from the animal spirit oracle, is the wolf. Okay, let me pull this up here in my book. See what the wolf wants to teach you. The wolf is the guardian of family and tribe, and is also associated with activism and ritual. The wolf's mission is to uphold the well-being and longevity of the pack. Healthy wolf energy expresses itself through activism, mentorship, humanitarian efforts, or teaching, religious or political studies. The wolf gets into trouble when it assumes every member of the tribe must follow suit. This includes children walking in their parents' footsteps. Although it will surely be uncomfortable at first, practicing tolerance helps balance out agitated wolf energy. Contemplate the following: embrace all, exclude none. Okay? So when in balance, the wolf is reliable, democratic, fearless. When out of balance, the wolf is judgmental and dominating. To bring into balance, practice letting go. Okay? So I think there's this thing with your childhood here. Just hearing that whole letting go, where it's hard for you to let go, because I think you do have a pack mentality and this like no one gets left behind type of thing. But sure, we can have that mindset, that belief system as much as we want, but the universe sometimes, not even sometimes, it has more power than us. God has more power than us. And when God is ready to remove something or someone from your life, then they will. And with that death card coming up in the position of what you don't see coming, there may be someone that you are kind of holding on to, you're not wanting to let go. Maybe you've known them since your childhood. For others of you, this person, they've got a soft spot with you, okay? Like you don't want to leave them out. You don't want them to feel rejected or abandoned or whatever the case may be. And look, they'll live, they'll be fine. You know, I'm sure they have other people in their life to support them and whatnot. So make sure you're not trying to play that big of a role in someone's life to where you feel like, oh, they just won't be okay without me, or they won't evolve without me, they won't heal without me. That's not true. Sometimes it's us like being a little too hands-on with someone that is delaying their healing and their growth because we're trying to grow and heal for them. I think Pisces got a similar message to this. So I know that's your opposite sign, but some of you may also have Pisces placements in your chart. So maybe go check out that reading as well. Let's see what your relationship oracle is for October, and we'll get you closed out here. Dead end. Okay, the card said it. I didn't. I'm just pulling the cards here. The number 45, 4 plus 5 is 9. Some of you, I'm getting, you need to get out of this cycle because you're going to end up getting caught up with somebody to the point where, I don't know, you're going to be with them, stuck to them till you 45. Okay. I don't know if there's someone involved here that's 45 in this situation. Could be you, could be them. Know when to cut your losses. Some of you need to do some sort of ritual surrounding like letting go. And maybe this is about you linking up with your pack, your friends. You know, if you got people, spiritual community that's into what you're into, it seems like, yeah, y'all should be doing some sort of release ritual. Okay. So know when to cut your losses. Everybody can't come with you. It doesn't mean that they're going to be out here suffering and struggling, like, because that's disempowering for them too. For you know, for us to position ourselves in someone's life as like the savior, essentially. when really everybody's got to save themselves. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Just like you did your own healing, nobody did it for you. You can't do someone else's healing for them. You can't do their work for them. And you're also going to start racking up some of their karma if you don't get out of the way too. So know when to cut your losses. All right, so you got 3 5s in your reading, 5, 5, 5. Cancer got that, had 3 5s too. So I don't know if some of you have Cancer placements in your chart. But significant dates that you may want to mark on your calendar for the month ahead. We do have the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, the 9th, and the 13th. I think we actually have one more. 13th and the 15th. Okay? Yes. As far as zodiac signs you're dealing with, you've got fire, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Earth, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Scorpio, Pisces, potentially Cancer. Okay, so you guys basically got all, well, 3 out of the 4 elements. But keep in mind, you know, this doesn't have to be someone's sun sign. It can be another placement within their chart as well. Maybe their moon or rising. All right, my love. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap up your message here. If this resonated, please leave me a comment below. Until next time, sending you guys so much love. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Go ahead, hit that button. Okay, take care.